This is the Tom Bigby Tales, and I'm your host, Shannon Evans. I write about a small town in northeast Mississippi called Columbus. Sometimes I write about the rest of the state. This episode is about the Columbus Housing Authority and one of their contractors, Futurespec, owned by Rusty B. Walker. Who is Rusty Walker and what is Futurespec? Futurespec is the company owned by Walker, who is a consultant for Columbus, Mississippi Housing Authority. Walker is on retainer here for $4,295 per month to put out bids for the housing projects, look up truck comps, and then code draws to pay for trucks that they send the money to scam artists instead of the actual dealership. Anyways, Futurespec was founded in its current form in 2011 by registered commercial agent Kara L. Puchu, and I may not be saying her name right, Pucheau, for Rusty B. Walker, aka Ferdinand B. Walker IV. Walker was already an elected member of Gulfport City Council at that time. He was elected in 2009 while he was in business or working with Bubba Harper at that time. We believe Bubba's name is William Harper, who was advising housing authorities in small towns on how to run their capital management programs for HUD Capital Fund Grant, which is something HUD actually spends a lot of time and energy teaching the various housing authority executive directors how to do it for themselves. According to HUD and area directors, there is absolutely no need for companies like Futurespec to do the day-to-day coding and grant fund management that they are hired to do. The directors have so much opportunity to learn both online and in person, and HUD and various state-level agencies provide continuing credits, ongoing training, and support to those executive directors. According to two executive directors I spoke with, it is their job to manage their own capital funds, and it is not clear why Walker and Harper were consulting all across the state in places like Columbus, Hattiesburg, Macomb, Yazoo City, to name a few. Anyways, at that time, I've been told that the company was also called Futurespec, although it's not clear if the name actually was Futurespec in 2009 or if when Walker acquired the company totally for himself, that by 2011 when he actually registered it by his name. It's also not clear why Harper and Walker parted ways or where Harper is now. So the person who registered Futurespec for Walker is a woman named Kara Puchu. As I said, she was also a member of the Gulfport City Council at the time that she set up Rusty's LLC, Futurespec. She served on the City Council for Gulfport from 2009 to 2021. She currently serves as a City of Gulfport appointee to the Board of Trustees for Memorial Hospital, where she serves as the vice chair. She also, according to her LinkedIn, is the vice president of Edge Financial Group since 2011 to present. The company's address, however, is a storage locker on Dido Road in Gulfport. Not sure why. Chu is listed as the agent of record and manager of Futurespec from 2011 to 2016, when it is handed over to what appears to be an attorney named Bo A. Stewart as the new agent. The address given on many of the state filings for Futurespec is a New Horizon Roofing Company's building on Washington Avenue in Gulfport. Currently, the address is listed as the same as Rusty's home address. But back to Rusty, aka Ferdinand. Rusty and his father Ferdy were appointed to the trustees of a Helen Knobloch Leggett's Revocable Trust prior to April 2007. Now, why is this important? You'll see in a minute, because there's a whole bunch of money that's getting moved around, and it's not clear what's going on with that money. Helen was roughly 70 at the time the trust was created and a widow. She had two grown daughters at the time, Laura and Catherine. On April 13, 2007, Rusty and his father Ferdy secured a loan of $1,244,000 from Leggett's Revocable Trust. In February of 2012, they extended the due date of the loan with the court. Mrs. Leggett then died just a few months later in July of 2012. It is clear why Rusty and his father were the trustees for this woman's trust. They are not family members that we can tell from her obituary. Neither are they attorneys. Why were they in charge? What did they spend that $1 million on? How much did they ever pay back? On April 18th of 2013, the sisters canceled the Walker's Deed of Trust dated 2007. Why? Were they Helen's extras? On the same day, Rusty and his father sold 8 lots for a total of $10, which is a court thing, to Mamie Street Properties and their agent, Richard V. Marshall. The properties are described as lots on Taylor Road bordering Winfield Properties. Why? Were these properties where the $1.22 million were spent? How much did they really get for the 8 lots? Because then, on the same day, on October 18th, 2013, they turn around and loan Mamie Street Properties, owned by this Richard Marshall and his wife Elizabeth. They loaned them $1,013,358, and the Marshalls secured the loan with those same 8 parcels of land. Where did Rusty and his dad get money? At least that kind of money. What did they do with that money? Why did the city of Gulfport Ward 4 citizens re-elect Rusty to their city council? Lordy, I have reached out to Rusty twice now for comments about his business dealings, namely with Columbus Housing Authority, and now I have questions about these pieces of land, but he has not responded to my first question himself. So why on earth is the Columbus Housing Authority mixed up with this character? This actually creates more questions for me than answers. What questions do you have? It's really interesting. There seems to be a real lack of transparency in consulting with Columbus Housing Authority, and of course with the way I'm looking at these documents here. Now, they might be fine and above board. I just can't parse apart what actually happened on October 18th of 2012 when all those pieces of property were hooked up in that complex property dealing. There's this real lack of transparency in a little bit of everything, and there's a real potential for conflicts of interest. It's just really curious because I think these are some questionable business practices. I could be wrong because I'm not an expert on real estate, and I just think this highlights the complex intersections of local politics, consulting, and public resources. It's a reminder that transparency and accountability are crucial in government operations. Everything I'm doing is documented information that is found in public records and in public business transactions. I encourage you to seek additional verification and form your own conclusions about this content. I'm just going through deeds in the courthouse from Harrison County in Mississippi and looking at tax records. So these are all public records, and Rusty, while he is a consultant for Columbus, he's an elected official, so he is a public figure, and there's even a greater layer of expectation of transparency, accountability for him. So I want to thank you for coming on my show, the Tom Bigby Tales. Until next time, I'm Shannon Evans.